right here on the Muskegon channel. Happy Friday, everybody.
Finally, thank God.
This week seems to have gone by slow.
Yeah,
You too?
totally agree.
Yeah?
Yeah, and I'm used to time just clicking by, and
Bang, bang.
you turn, and then the week's gone. But yeah, we needed an end to this week.
Yeah. Put a
It
bullet
just
in this one.
dragged.
Good enough.
Oh man.
So last night we did a live broadcast on the Muskegon channel out at Baker College.
Okay.
Again, it was on the topic of human trafficking, and this time
Yeah.
we jumped into the human trafficking of workers, people like migrant workers and things like that. You know, probably
All
what
right.
that is?
See, that's something when you think of human trafficking, most of us, I think, our
Sex
minds go
trafficking and
into the sex trafficking.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, it's on in the workers in just deplorable what people will do.
Yeah.
It just sucks. You know, the workers
Unreal.
that come in to do a working job in other countries, they will tell them that, okay, we're going to get you this job in the United States, but we need money ahead of time to get you there, and we need a cut when you get there, and we need this. And then when they get here, it's really not better for them than anything else. And
Yeah.
they really end up working as an indentured servant
Yeah.
just to
It's
pay some scumbag that arranged them. Just awful.
when you think of the evils in the world. I mean, I've been really learning about this. I've been doing some studying and learning about the idea of how it's amazing the the depths of human evil at times,
Oh,
and how
yeah.
virtuous we can be.
Yeah.
And you've got to be able to understand that whenever you see a horrific story about somebody, about some terrible thing that they did. I mean, you
Yeah.
can take this back to Hitler and the Nazis.
Right.
It's like the odds are, if you were in Germany in the 1930s, odds are you'd be more part of the problem than part of the solution.
Absolutely.
Odds are.
Yeah.
And people have I think, a hard time understanding when you see evil done, how easily that could be you, given the circumstances, given your makeup, your psychological makeup. How it's really one of those things that kind of makes you sit back and gives you a little bit of perspective on things.
Yeah, you get pulled into the mayhem, and
Yeah.
it's a
Incredible.
bad deal. It really is. So we were proud to bring that there. And as I was wrapping things up, I was explaining to the crowd. And when we do those things, we certainly don't do them for great financial gain, because we don't sell
Yeah.
sponsorships on that kind of stuff. But to me,
Right.
that's the kind of thing news ought to be doing in a town like Muskegon.
Oh, no question.
Don't just show up with a 30-second news clip about, hey, it's
Right.
human trafficking, it's here, it's going on in Muskegon, and more details at 11.
Next story. Yeah.
Yeah, horse pucky.
Yeah.
Talk about
Well,
it.
good for
Get
you.
people there that can talk about it. Show us what's being done. Give people a chance to answer some questions, ask some questions, and get them answered. That's what a small town broadcast ought to do. And
I think trying to
addressed
come
it a
up with
little bit at the
solutions
end, and
is
it's
good.
always uncomfortable for me to feel like I'm beating my own chest.
Yeah.
But that's what it ought to be.
Yeah.
So that's why we do it.
Yeah. Coming up with solutions is a good idea too.
At least
I mean,
trying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Putting up an attempt.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, speaking of solutions,
Let's have one.
I don't know if this is one or not. In what the White House is calling a dramatic concession, President Trump would accept a path to citizenship for not just those eligible for DACA, but for a broader population that adds up to nearly 2 million people. Now, in return, the president wants a $25 billion investment in a trust for border infrastructure and technology, and an end to family migration beyond spouses and minor children. The diversity via lottery would also be abolished, with those visas going to work through a backlog of people already waiting for family visas and high-skilled immigration green cards. Now, what I like about this is that people on the far right and far left hate it. I mean, people on the far right are like, hey, this is just amnesty. You're allowing these people in. You can't have that. And then people on the right are saying it. People on the left are like, well, wait, what about the other family members? We need to allow more of these people in. And once again, when you have a compromise, this is what's going to happen. I think this is honestly, if I'm on the Democratic side of this is the best deal you're probably going to get, because what you're trying to do is save DACA, and that saves it and gets more of these people in, and it provides a path to citizenship for people. If you've been in the country. This is over, I guess it's over the course of like 10 to 12 years is where they're going to, I guess the president said it's going to be like a morphing where after a decade, if if you're working, you're employed, you're a productive member of society, you don't have anything going on, any shenanigans going on,
Yep.
path to citizenship. So, that's a good thing. But what I find hysterical is on both the far right, the far left, you'll get, oh, this is about the rule of law, or
Of course.
this is about immigration, this is about allowing being who a beacon of freedom to immigrants. No, it's about, on both sides, it's about votes. This is about votes, pure and simple. If you're on the right, you're looking at this as, okay, we're going to allow these high skilled immigrants in. They're more likely to be higher earners, higher achievers, and more likely to vote Republican. If you're on the left, you're like, oh well, we need to have the unskilled laborers in because they're more likely to be dependent on the government, more likely to vote Democrat. That's what both these sides say. They're for this or for that. No, you're both of you are about votes.
Well, good. Here I am. Let's just bring it right back. If there's going to be some compromise, here's the opportunity for the federal government and everyone in it to say, okay, look, we can work together.
Yeah.
There's your challenge, boys and girls.
Yeah.
Come to a compromise. That's all I'm
Yeah,
asking.
and
That's all anybody ought to be asking right now. Come to a compromise.
Like I said, I think this is going to end up being the deal. I think the Democrats are going to hold their nose and vote for it, and those on the far right are going to be shaking their head and go, okay, whatever. Probably, I don't know. Anyway, the next shoe to drop in the Nassar fallout at Michigan State could be the athletic director. We got into this yesterday, and I think it's going to be Mark Hollis. I think he's done. Mark Hollis is facing open calls for his ouster following former MSU Dr. Larry Nassar's sex abuse scandal. There has been no evidence that Hollis or former President Luann K. Simon knew about Nassar's abuse. Nassar was actually cleared. This is something I didn't know. He was cleared in a Title IX investigation by the university in 2014. I knew the investigation went on, but I didn't know he was cleared in it. But I guess there were reports that there were some evidence, some allegations that were withheld during the investigation by, I think it was those in and around the gymnastics team, coaches, other people who were involved with that. Now, I kind of have changed my mind on this a little bit when it comes to responsibility. Even though I don't think Mark Hollis knew about this, I don't think that there's no evidence that there was any impropriety going with impeding an investigation. But at the end of the day, you got the president had to resign. You had the gymnastics coach had to resign. You're the athletic director. It's
your job to know.
It's not your job to know, but you're responsible for the people who did know.
Yeah.
It's not his job to know that this happened. It's his job to oversee those. And you put your trust. The sad thing for Mark Hollis is he put his trust, unfortunately, in the wrong people,
right.
And he has to answer for that for that ill-advised trust. And this is bad because this is one of the great athletic directors in the country. This guy has done great things at Michigan State, but unfortunately, buck stops with the athletic director. And I think that this is probably where this story finally gets put to bed, because in a related story,
not even close.
It is close. Yeah,
where it gets put to bed, I got bad news for you, dude. This one's going to go on for a long time.
This isn't bad news. What are you talking about? Bad news for me? I'm just telling you, these are the people. Because
I'm telling you that this story is not going to get put to bed anytime soon.
I don't know what else
you may see this guy and that guy and the lady that ran the thing fired and all that stuff, but it is the civil suits.
I'm talking.
This ain't getting put to bed.
What I mean is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when you're talking about those who were you could say responsible. Now, I don't want to say that Mark Hollis is responsible for what happened, because he's not. Larry Nassar is responsible for what happened. Those who covered it up,
right?
That like I said, Mark Hollis put his trust in. They're responsible for what happened, but he has to answer for it on a professional level, not on a criminal level, but on a professional level. Like I said, unless it's found that there was some shoving stuff under the rug, right, or whatever. But also, USA Gymnastics, but this was interesting. The U.S. Olympic Committee is demanding that all USA Gymnastics board members resign by next Wednesday.
Whoa.
So, but with regard to Michigan State's athletic program, I think, this is all about the gymnastics team. Really, it's not about honestly, it's not about the sports that people at Michigan. To separate this, to put it in just a sports. If we're going to separate the tragic thing that happened to these women and put it in just a sports context, football and basketball are the sports at Michigan State. I mean, field hockey, fencing, gymnastics, quite honestly, these aren't revenue generating sports. If they go away, like if you eliminated the gymnastics program at Michigan State, it doesn't hurt Michigan State as far as the athletic. I mean, because basically the football program pays for all that. So that's one less thing that, you're going to have to, you're going to have to clear the board. You're going to get rid of your athletic director. You have to, because the buck stops with him, and the gymnastics program's gutted. If you're a gymnast, are you going to Michigan State? Not going to Michigan State. Sayonara. That's it.
I like first, I like how this has become the Dave's Opinion show. That's
what?
Really
Go ahead,
man. You kind of turned this into Dave's Opinion show, which is, whatever. Okay, cool. And then two, you ain't giving up on Michigan State football.
Of course I'm not giving up on Michigan State.
It's fine.
I'm a Spartan
I don't care.
fan.
Whatever, dude.
But like I said,
this is going to go a lot deeper than the few heads that have rolled so far and a couple more that will. It's gonna be around a long time, dude. So.
What else? But like I said, what else is there to? This is what I believe. I believe the gymnastics coaches, and this is some of the stuff that is alleged to have gone on. That when the victims were going to their coaches or some of the people around the gymnastics program, they were being told, "You don't want to do this. You don't want to do this. You don't want to accuse this guy. You don't want to." And to me, that's criminal. Okay. You're coercing. You're trying to coerce somebody who you should believe to be a victim in this to not come forward. You're trying to squelch that. And these women are, these are damaged, victimized women, and you're trying to get them. That's part of getting that out is part of the healing process.
Right.
So to me, that's criminal.
There you go.
And but like I'm saying, beyond that, you've got the president gone. The athletic director is going to be gone. Gymnastics coaches are out. Obviously there's going to be a civil suit against the university for however many millions of dollars, but okay, Nasser's in prison for the rest of his life. Honestly, what else is there?
We'll see.
All right.
Hey, and let's not forget the story about that came out a little late last night about Don wanting to fire.
See, this is what's interesting. Whether he wanted to fire Meuller out, he didn't fire him. He probably wanted to. But is anybody shocked that Trump wanted to fire the guy who was investigating it?
I think the shock comes from the fact that the White House counsel said, "Look, if you do that, we're going to quit."
Yeah. Okay, there you go. So, seriously, he needs people around him to. Don, you don't want to, Mr. President. You don't want to do that. That would be really stupid, and we're all going to leave. Oh,
maybe I better not do that.
Maybe I probably shouldn't do that. There you go. See, I didn't think that. To me, it's a story if he fires him. It's not a story to me, it's not a story that he wanted to fire him and didn't, because everybody would assume that he wanted to fire him.
Right.
Everybody would assume that. Finally, the Lumberjacks back in action at LC Walker Arena. That means Andy's got to work this weekend.
Yes, he
Jacks
does.
Take on Youngstown tonight, and Team USA, the under-17 team, Saturday face-off for both games, set for 7:15. You got anything special going on with?
Well, I think I'm working on a little sonnet that I'm going to read between periods. That'll be a nice thing.
That'd be beautiful.
That'll be tomorrow. That'll be tonight. Tomorrow night, I'm going to do an expressive dance to Islands in the Stream. People will enjoy that. You're coming out for that, right?
Oh, of course. Unless I'm otherwise engaged, which I might be. I don't know.
Who's the lucky guy?
That's funny. That's funny because I'm a closeted homosexual.
Have a great weekend.
That's funny.
You just admitted it. We'll see you Monday.
Bye bye.